How you guys doing? It's 514 Mystic from BookieBullies.com, and this is the first time I'm seeing you guys since my video outside when they announced that all the COVID stuff is gonna basically, well, all the COVID craziness is gonna slow down all the sports. So today is the first time I'm actually gonna be breaking down anything. Like you guys know, if you guys know anything about me, you know I'm really not a degenerate gambler. I like to bet on things that I see an edge on, and I only talk about things that I know about. I do shows for the UFC at times, and they have been UFCs, but to be honest with you guys, I haven't been keeping up with all of them. I've seen a few over the last few weeks, and I didn't think anything was necessarily bet worthy. Today is actually a pretty good card, and it's going to be hyped because there's a lot of things going on. There's the NBA bubble, there's the NHL who is slated to come back, and there's talks with the MLB about them starting back also, so, which is all good news for the sports betting world. We're going to be able to get right back into making cash, making caps, and, you know, trying to progress and make profits as you know we do best. Anyways, I'm not going to keep you guys too long with all my blabbering. Gonna make another video either before tonight or tomorrow to give you guys the updates on what's going on with the NBA, if there's gonna be a season, what I think about it, so on and so forth. So tonight, UFC, you got Kamaru Usman, who's gonna go up against the BMF champ. That's basically it's gonna be a crazy fight. You got Jorge Masvidal, who's taking the fight on a 6-day notice, so that's gonna be pretty big. But I'm gonna run down everything as far as what's going on tonight. If I don't know about the fighters, I'm not gonna get too deep into it. Just gonna keep it real and keep it moving. So starting from the top, we got Vegas Zumagulov versus Ralian Paiva. Don't know anything about either of these guys. You got Vegas, who's a 240 underdog. 158 favorite is Paiva. So I'm gonna move along because I don't know much about either of these fighters. Let's keep it real and keep it moving. Marcin Tybura versus Maxim Grishin. Maxim Grishin sounds familiar, but I couldn't tell you with 100% certainty that I know who he is. Gonna keep it moving. Next, we got Vanessa Melo versus Carol Rosa. Vanessa Melo, she's actually an up and come. I believe this is gonna be her first fight in the UFC, but she's actually pretty decorated, a pretty decorated pro fighter. She's a heavy underdog today at 340. That's a really good pick if you're just gonna put a little bit of change on it. I don't know too much about Rosa, but she's like she's the most favorite that I see on the board so far in the undercards for the night. So she must be pretty hardcore. But I have heard of Vanessa Melo. It's gonna be interesting to see. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it's gonna be her first UFC fight. But she's definitely a decorated fighter. Stay tuned. Look out for that. I think I'm gonna sprinkle a little change on it, just a little bit. Nothing too crazy to say I'm gonna make a shit ton of cash on it, but maybe a little something just to kind of you know, get my little taste before the official card begins. Next, you got Martin Day versus Davy Grant. Don't know anything about either fighter. Is gonna move on. Leonardo Santos versus Roman Bagalov. That's a pretty good fight. Bagalov, I think he's also taking this fight on a short notice. They're not talking too much about it because again, they're undercards. They're not even prelims. They're really the undercards. Like these guys, a lot of them are making like $5,000, if that, per fight. Again, gonna keep it moving. Most of my picks are gonna be based on the preliminaries and the main card. But you know, I think it's fun enough to see the numbers on what's going on. It's my first view at it too. You got the next fight, which is Macwin Americani. Americani is a pretty good fighter. He's favorite, 145 favorite, 280 underdog for Danny Henry. Gonna be a pretty good fight. If you guys want to pick some Americani, he puts people out. He actually puts people out. He has a lot of finishes under his belt, in my recollection. Believe he's coming off of a pretty good win streak. I would have to check the research. Not going to get into all of that because I want to keep this as short as possible. But Americani, he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. That 145. Don't look the other side and say, oh, well, maybe there's a good value on the underdog. Unless you know Danny Henry and you have some insider information, or you know anything about his camp or whatever the case was, then maybe I would suggest going that route. Personally, I would pick Americani to win with a finish and possibly KO submission. If you're dealing with, let's say, Bet365, you could bet on Americani to get a win by either submission, KO, or TKO. I think I would roll with that. It's paying a little bit more. The 145 is not paying so much. And like I said, I would probably do a little bit more research on Danny Henry to know what kind of force I'm dealing with. But I think I like that fight. So that would be my second pick. So going back to the top, I actually like Vanessa Melo as a wild card underdog. There is Americani to win by finish, by form of finish. Next, you got uh, Elezu Deleski dos Santos versus Muslim Salikov. Salikov, they're pretty evenly matched. A 210 underdog is dos Santos, and Salikov, he's going to be a 172. Again, these numbers might vary depending on the book that you're looking at. I'm looking right now at Bet365. They don't give me any kind of funding whatsoever. And when I do sports betting in general, basketball, hockey, baseball, football, whatever it is, I typically don't tell you what book I'm looking at because they're not funding me. You know what I mean? So there's no reason for me to be giving them no free promotion. But when it comes to UFC, I like to use Bet365, and whatever. If they decide one day that they want to play ball, they'll play ball. Next, you got Volkan Ozdemir going versus Jin Prochaska. Jin Prochaska. Volkan Ozdemir, pretty hardcore badass. He has some serious reach. He has a serious striking power. And honestly, at a 162 favorite, I like those. I like that number. As far as the parlay goes, anyways. If you guys know anything about me, I don't really like to parlay UFC picks. When it comes to fighting, I like to go straight bets because anything could happen. It's a pure sport in that anything could happen. A wild punch could put someone out if he gets caught in it. So I don't like to parlay too many things. Might sprinkle a little change on the parlay, but like I said, I like Volkan Ozdemir at a 162, a little above 50 cents on your buck for that one. Next, you got Amanda Rivas versus Paige Van Zandt. Paige Van Zandt, heavy dog here, paying 650 to 1. Now, 12 gauge Paige. Not shotgun, but 12 gauge Paige. Bad girl herself, paying a serious underdog. She's been doing a lot of training. She's been fighting, not fighting, but she's been training with a lot of different people. She has her show on Snapchat. And she invites a lot of the guys over to, to do a little things and, just get a little footwork, a little bit of workouts and different things like that going on. She's a heavy underdog today. I think it's probably because Amanda has been putting everybody out. She ain't playing. She's actually in the conversation for who's gonna be. And also Paige Van Zandt is taking this fight on a short notice, so that doesn't help either. But 650 to 1, I would sprinkle a little change on Paige Van Zandt. Or possibly, just possibly, I might put some money on the finish to happen. No, not the finish, sorry. For the fight to go to the distance. Because Van Zandt, although she lost her last fight that I watched, and I think she's coming off of a 3-fight losing streak, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'm going off the top. I'm just keeping it real here. You know what I mean? And if I feel to keep it moving, I'll do so. You guys don't have to roll. I'm just giving you guys what I think. And I'll have some more concrete picks before the end of the night. And just before, once fight night drops about 8 o'clock, I'll probably come through, give you guys another show of my official picks. So feel free to come and check me out again. Before the weekend ends, we're going to have at least 3 shows. So come and check me out, man. You know what I mean? So Paige Van Zandt, 650 to 1. I'm going to take that and see how that goes. Next, we got Jessica Andrade versus Thug Rose Namajunas. Thug Rose, she's with 50 cents on your buck. Jessica Andrade, she's paying 270 to 1. I honestly, I hate to say this, man, but I like the underdog in this situation. I really do. Thug Rose is solid. She's nice. I'm not sure that she should have actually beaten. My girl, Joanna Jędrzejczyk. But she did. She won not only once, but she ended up losing her title. She's back in the runnings for a title shot. And Jessica Andrade, she's no joke. At 270 to 1, I honestly think they should be more evenly matched. I'm not convinced about Thug Rose. Gonna have to see. She's not like she's pretty solid, but I'm gonna have to see. I'm not sold on her being such a heavy favorite tonight. Give me Jessica Andrade at 270 to 1. Next, we got Peter Yan. Peter Yan versus Jose Aldo. Aldo hasn't had the most impressive run since losing his title. The last time I saw him, he actually won his fight, and it was in decisive fashion, but it wasn't necessarily impressive. Peter Yan, he's been killing everybody. He's just been putting everybody to sleep. That guy's an absolute beast. That 140. If you're not on Peter Yan's side, I could understand why you'd be balancing left and right. But I'm telling you this right now: if I'm not on Yan, I'm not on nobody. I'll just watch that fight. I think they have a potential to be fight of the night, and any potential fight of the night is not a fight to bet on. Trust me on that. You don't want to bet on potential fight of the night. I think these guys are going to trade. I think they're going to, and I think it's going to be fireworks. And whoever wins this fight is going to face the number one contender. I'm positive. Again, maybe not 100% sure, but most probably, if Jose Aldo could actually finish Peter Yan tonight, I believe he's going to be running for the title. So, and the title right now is actually empty because Cejudo's just retired. It's just crazy. We have so much to talk about in my video tomorrow, but we'll get into that when we get into that. Next, you got Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Bless Holloway. Max Holloway lost his last fight, lost the title. I believe he did lose the title, so that's too bad. It is what it is. 250, 280 to 1 actually. 280, I'm not seeing right. Is a very good pay, but Alexander Volkanovski is also a beast. I think that fight is going to go all the way. Maybe I think it's going to go all the way. These two guys are so tough. I could totally see this fight going the distance. Might be a good payout. I also think Max Holloway is going to have a very big comeback because the guy is so tough, and I think he wants the championship belt back. So give him a, honestly, yes, give me Max Holloway tonight. I got all the dogs. Give me all the dogs, man. You know what I mean? Give me all the dogs tonight. I ain't playing around. I ain't playing, and I'm gonna do some more research, and I'm gonna get back to you with my official picks of the night. But this is what I'm like, going down the board, keeping it real. What I see, I'm telling you what I see, and this is what I think is going down. Last but not least, you got the Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal fight. Kamaru Usman, bad boy himself. He's solid. He ended up dethroning Tyrone Woodley. He beat up on shoot. Who did he beat up on last time? He had two decisive. He had two fights that he actually looked really good in. But anyways, Jorge Masvidal, also a total badass. He's a striker. He could put you out. He ended up I'm drawing a blank. The guy with the curly hair, freaking Ben Askren. I mean, he knocked out Ben Askren with the single knee. This fight lasted the least amount of time in UFC history. Beat up Nate Diaz, ended up winning the baddest mudder on the block, you know what I mean, title. And now he's taking this fight on a short notice, despite all the controversy with him in the UFC and all the politics between his contract and all that other stuff, crazy stuff. But what can I say? He took the fight, short notice, 6 days, and then he's gonna be fighting Usman. Usman, he wants to hold on to the title, so I don't think he's gonna let up tonight. I don't think he's gonna finish the fight. I believe that Usman is gonna play the lay and pray game. He's gonna smother Jorge Masvidal. He's gonna try to hold him on the ground because he has A1 wrestling skills through the roof. And he's just gonna put all his weight on him, smother him for 5 minutes at a time, maybe beat up on him left and right. They're gonna hear a bunch of boos. They're not gonna get fight of the night. It's not gonna be fireworks. And Kamaru Usman is gonna end up winning by decision. It's gonna be ugly. It's not gonna be fun. And I think that's what's gonna happen. Everybody got their eyes set on the fight. I don't think it's gonna be as crazy as it's set to be. I think the two most craziest fights tonight is gonna be is gonna be Max Holloway versus Alexander Volkanovski, and I think Peter Yan versus Jose Aldo are probably gonna get the 50,000 piece for the fight of the night. Anyways, if what I believe is wrong about the Masvidal versus Usman fight, if what I believe is wrong, it could only go one other way, and that's Jorge Masvidal gets a double champ, gets to win 2 belts. He's gonna be the BMF and he's gonna be the welterweight champion. And you could cash me in at 325 to beat up on Kamaru Usman. I'm just not sure how good. I've never had to see him. I've never actually had to see him scramble on the ground. So that's why I'm not convinced that he's gonna be able to win this fight. Because I'm sure Usman is just gonna try and play the smother game, the lay and pray. And I'm not a fan of that style, but it's what wins fights, and it's the kind of game that we're playing in the UFC tonight. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Look out for me in the next couple of hours. If I'm not back before 8 o'clock, I'll definitely be back at 10 o'clock, and I'll give you guys the rundown and what exactly I believe is going to happen. And come and check me out. Keep that notification bell on lock. Come and check me out tomorrow. I'm going to have some information for the sports world, see what's going on as far as that goes, and we'll also talk about how the fight went. And just keep posted from here on out, because we have a lot of things to talk about. I haven't been around lately, but I will be in the future again. I'll tell you like I tell you all the time, please do not bet what you can't afford to lose. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So be safe, be good, and I'll see you again next time.